Hi YouTube family, it's Friday afternoon. I just finished the video on the discrepancy of color on this canvas, which is Mucha, the moon. And I bought this for Summer with the Masters as a second canvas. I guess maybe thinking, am I going to do the Van Gogh? And that was a wonderful journey in Van Gogh, and it was not my first pick, but it was something that I just fell in love with the way that it unfolded. So the next thing that I want to say here is, will someone please do a video on washi tape? Because I don't know what it is with me and washi tape. I have thick, I have thin, I have light, I have heavy, I have old, I have new, and my washi tape never stays in place. But part of the dilemma was I had to cover up the area that was in question about, is this the same color or are these different colors? So I am going to, you'll have to go back and listen to the 5 minutes that I talked about color and color theory and perception and value, and why I made the decision that I'm going to keep, even though these look identical, different numbers but identical, I am going to keep 939 as the arrow, and I'm going to keep 823 as the equal sign. Okay, and we're going to see what they look like side by side, and I'll probably even talk about it a little bit more. And so I had to cover the area because I was at a standstill. And so I used, for the first time, what is this? Release paper. But I had to get it to stick down because only a little section was not sticky. And so I had to take out tape. I started with the plastic cover, and then the plastic cover turned backwards. Okay, so let me just say, because you gotta see my face for this one. Don't ever have your cellophane, because this reminds me of like Easter paper, like that you put on baskets. Cellophane, don't ever let it flip over to the opposite side. It will not release like it does the way that it comes. It was stuck to the canvas. I was having a heart attack. I thought all the glue was going to come out. So I had it, after being in this dilemma, being stuck, and the numbers and the color and then the paper, it was my fault. It flipped over. I had cut it and I was going to seal. I had glue sticks out. It was a mess. Thank God I didn't videotape it. So I had to tape this down because I did work in the above section. And here goes the washi tape. Okay, you're here and you, little piece, are here. I don't know why I insist on doing this when I have no nails, but I just like, having fun. I just like to, I don't know. I just think that I don't stop long enough to just say, oh, let me get, I feel like I'm leaving you all waiting, and I don't like leaving people waiting. And so all right, so I'm going to turn this over. The release paper was really nice. I had never used release paper. So you could see where the dilemma is in this section. No more dilemma. We've made a decision. Ah, look at that. I'm able to get this off without pulling the washi tape up, even though I know the gods are always listening. So, okay, thank you for your service. And there you go. And so I have this is what I have going on. But this was the area that I had to stop working in. So I'm working in, what's really interesting about this canvas is what's on this side is on this side. So I chose to work across. And because there's so much color blocking, I chose to not just say, I'm going to do this section and then go back. Because, after a while, I just get so bored with shake them out and put them back in, and oh, here we are, shake them out, put them back in. So I'm just flowing like you read, left to right. Even though I'm going to have to start in, well, this section is all the equal sign. I wanted to have them show you together, so I will start right to left because there's an equal sign and then an arrow, just so that we can see what they look like. So let me just double check this again. 823 is the equal sign, and did I say hello? Am I being a bad host? How are you? Thank you for popping into my home. I do work at home. And I actually have my front door open. It's like I hid the phone in the other room because it always has a way of going off when I'm videotaping, and then I left the front door open. And I live in a very primarily Italian area of Philadelphia where everybody is just like, neighbors are like cookie cutters, our homes are like cookie cutters right next to each other. And so it's like, oh, the door's open, let's pop in and see what she's doing, maybe, you know, have a cup of coffee or something. And it's so funny because I was, oh gosh, the craziest things happen to me, I swear. I mean, not crazy in a way that it's like, I'll ask a question and then it will pop like over the radio or like on the television, you know? Do you ever have that happen where you ask a question and like something like that is answering you? Oh, there's a broken, I see one that's broken right here. It's got a hole in it and it's so noticeable. So I'm sorry, little baby, you're gonna have to go. Surgery already. Here we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. But I do have this cute little vase. This cute little, that's what I'm using here to store my, I've always been the type that I like things that are unique, and I like things also that are, can be used for multiple purposes. I like to turn things into like convertibles, right? It's not just for this, it's for this and that. So I was actually popping into someone else's YouTube channel, and I just think that when you pop into someone's channel, that it's just nice to say hello or say thank you, or to, you know, just, you know, tell the person, the creator, like, I enjoyed that, or can you do more of this? And I watch a lot of diamond painting videos because I enjoy, if I wasn't taping right now, the TV would be on. That's probably all that would be on. I'm not really a TV person, and I don't watch the news. Why even bother? So I was busy telling someone thank you, and the whole time that she was talking, I was just nodding my head, yes, yeah, yes, yes, yes. I do the same thing, yes, yes, yes. And I thought it was so funny that I literally felt like this girl lived with me. Because every time she said something, I was nodding my head yes. And then all of a sudden, while I'm typing a thank you to her, listening to her on TV, I hear her say, you know, I found this really cool diamond painting video, and the girl's name is Elisa Maria Designs. And I just, you know, I think that her and I would just, you know, we would be friends. Like, I would like to hang out with her. And she's describing my home, and I'm like, I have the phone in my hand. I'm like, oh my God, you just said my name. So things like that happen to me all the time. And that's, her name is Megan Diamond Painting. And I had found her, I can't remember how she found me. Oh, she found me because I was doing squares for the first time, and I was doing the black cat wink, and she found my channel, and when I read her comment, she was like, I think square drills were created by the devil. I had coffee in my mouth and I almost spit it out when I read it. And this is a square canvas, and I am having the best time with it. I think because I had a lot of color blocking with Wink, and I had a lot of practice. And this is also a lot of color blocking, and I'm able to really be patient with this and take my time, and I'm getting a lot done. So, I mean, this is only like, this is a day and 2 days. And I've gotten all this done, even with the little hiccups that I've had. And so it was just so funny hearing her say my name. And I was listening to a new video. How I found her, it was what I was talking about. How I found Megan was, I don't know who found who first, but how I found her was, you know, I'm looking at diamond painting videos, and I see these beautiful hands with this beautiful red nail polish, and elegant hands with like beautiful fingers and manicure. And I'm like, oh, you know, look at me, right? And I do nails too. That's the funny part. And it's like the shoemaker that doesn't have any shoes. So I was like, oh, let me see what she's doing. And I was listening to her, and I believe she's in the South in Florida, and she was saying how, you know, oh, you know, I'm so self-conscious about my accent, and I say y'all all the time, and so do I. I say y'all all the time. I lived in Florida for a while. I don't know if that's where I picked it up at, but every time I say it now, I think of Megan. So when I was watching her new video, she was still on her rampage about, maybe rampage isn't the right word, but she was still on her little tangent about square drills, and she was like, you know, y'all, you know, I equate square drills like a newborn. Like, you have to watch for the soft spot in their head. Whereas, you know, round drills, you could throw 75% of them at the canvas and they all stick and they're in the right place. And I just found that it's so funny. She comes out with these little analogies that are just so funny. And I can't remember what else. Oh, she was talking about being in the dollar store, and when I had first started diamond painting, and I'm not sure, I don't know how long Megan has been diamond painting. She might be a new diamond painter also, because she's in the dollar store and she's buying the same exact containers that I had started out with in the dollar store, which in the dollar store are called bead containers, which is why when I was starting out, I was calling drills beads. Everything was a bead. Please, dear gods, do not let me start that again. I'm always, my husband is like, you're a murderer. You murder everything that you talk about. And he's right, I do. I mean, I'm calling my magnifying light a microscope. I murder everything. And she was talking about, you know, hey, you know, anybody hear about pool noodles? And I had just heard about pool noodles. That's what I mean. I think she lives with me. And that was the other thing that I did with this. That was the other reason for trying to get this covered. I wanted to pool noodle it, roll it around the pool noodle, and then work this way. But that ain't happening. That's not happening. I did at one point, and I never brought it up while I was diamond painting, because I do yoga too. I had an eye mask, and I had an eye mask that was on my desk, and I had it underneath my wrist, which was really nice, having a soft, cushy, and also scented eye mask that I could have leaned my wrist on to make my hand more comfortable. So there's a little bit for you with your, again, it's not just an eye mask. We're going to convert it into a wrist cushion. And so I did she's like, did anybody, you know, do anything, any videos on the pool noodles? And I was like, oh my God, I just went to the dollar store and bought 2. And then there was something else that she was so, oh, we had both just watched probably the same video. Oh, I should have wrote this poor girl's name down. She did a huge canvas. Did I write her name down? Oh boy. She had did a huge canvas from heaven and earth, and I even forget what the canvas was. And she had bought all the drills from, I believe, Cheetah Gem Shop. And she was, I think she said it took a year for her to complete this canvas. That's how big it was. And she was disappointed in it. And my heart was breaking listening to her talk, because to put that much, you know, listen, money's money. Okay, that's one thing. Time you never get back. I am always talking to my husband about time. That is my biggest currency. When that is how I have taught myself to only do what it is that I want to do, you know. And you know, there are times when you just can't, you know, and you have to do something that you don't want to do. And I am just like probably on hyper speed after that situation is over with, to make up for the time that I lost. I'm constantly talking about time. And this poor woman, she did this canvas, and there were so many gaps behind it. You could have seen through it. It was so intricate. It was gorgeous. And she just was like, I'm so glad this is off my table and I don't have to look at it anymore. Oh my God, my heart was breaking. And she's like, I even thought about putting the mica dust behind it, but you know, I think I'm just gonna chuck it. And I was like, what? I hope what she means by chuck it is that she's going to put this in her closet somewhere. She just didn't even want to look at it. And she had another painting from the same company. She's like, listen, I'm not going to give up on the company, but I do think that it wasn't pixelated properly for the canvas. And oh my gosh. And at that, I had just watched that, and Megan was then, you know, talking about, did you ever hear about sprinkling mica dust behind your canvas to fill in the gaps? So we're having a little love affair, me and Megan. We would definitely be besties. We'd be going to the dollar store together, buying pool noodles. We'd be hanging out. And she plays piano, so she actually commented on my baby grand piano in the background. But I'm sorry, Megs, I don't play piano. That's my hubs. I tried. I really wanted to surprise my new husband. We've known each other. A little backstory. We have grown up together. He lived next door to my godmother, my mother's best friend, who my mother grew up with. He lived next door to my godmother for years. He was good friends with my cousin. But, you know, we just never, ever, you know, thought about dating or going out, you know, together, or, you know, I just always enjoyed him as a friend. Very funny, very charismatic, very charming, very good looking. But it was a friendship. And it was so funny. I ran into him. My husband does parcel post delivery for the post office. And I was in the post office, not his post office, in a different area of the city, getting a passport. And he had walked in, he was all dressed up. And you just look, every time you see John, anybody that knows him just breaks out into a huge, huge smile, because it's like, he's just so full of joy. And I looked at him and I broke out into this big smile. He was all dressed up. I'm like, what are you doing here? Why are you at this post office? This isn't your post office. He's like, oh, I'm getting a passport. And I'm like, oh, are you going somewhere? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to Italy in May. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, what about you? I'm like, no, I'm just updating mine. And the pandemic happened. And so we decided to date. Couldn't travel. We decided to date instead and then get married. That's what we did during the pandemic. Sometimes I feel like a pandemic didn't even happen because we were busy falling in love, and we were just blissfully happy. But I remember me and my dad, we were sitting talking, and my dad also had dementia, and so he became like a little kid. He became very easy to talk to, and that was a blessing, because at times me and my dad could go at it, you know. And we were talking, and he said to me, Elisa, why are you so sad? And it you know, I'm dealing with a man who has COPD and he has dementia, and he is more aware than anyone what is going on with his daughter. And I just said, Dad, because I am. And he said, Elisa, don't waste another moment of your life being unhappy. And then one day I saw him driving down my street, which is not his route. And here he comes down the street. Just think of Kramer driving the fire truck. This is my husband. And he blew the horn. And, you know, it's a joke amongst us friends that grew up with John. Like, when you see a postal truck, do you look to see if it's John? And we all are like, yeah, we always look to see if it's John. You see a postal truck, you think of John. And it was him. And he blew the horn and he waved. And for that split second, I had just leaped out of my body, like, and waved. And I had this big smile and feeling of joy that I had not had. And when I finished my conversation and went back into my home, I felt myself getting depressed all over again. And I thought, you know, you, for a moment when you saw John, you were able to snap out of this funk that you're in with these people. So you can do it. Get out of the house. And I got out of the house and I went to a yoga class, and I was crying when I was in Shavasana because I didn't know what to do with myself next. It was over. The yoga class was over, and I left and I walked home, and when I walked in my house, I was crying all over again. It was just like, oh my God, like I got to sage this entire home of all the negative energy that is in here, because it was just becoming an anchor for me that this is where you sit and cry. And I impulsively picked up my phone and texted John. I said, I just want you to know, because I thought it was such a major thing that just someone being happy and waving hello to you could really change your day and change your mood. And I sent him a text message. I said, you know, I just want to let you know that I really, you made my day when I saw you today, you know. And he texted me back. Now, it was not unusual for John to at least once a year send me some kind of goofy text at 3 o'clock in the morning. He would come into my restaurant. I was never there when he was there, whether he was in Philly or New York, and he would always leave something behind. Most famously, stemware. He would come with his own stemware and he would leave it behind. And he texted me back and he said, oh, honey, that's so sweet. You just made my day. And I was like, yeah. And that was it. That was it. That was just that text message. And I thought, yeah, this is paying it forward. You know, who knows what he's doing, that, you know, maybe I did make his day, or maybe he's just trying to be nice. But it was like a few weeks later that he texted me and he said, and usually when he texted me was because he wanted to ask me a question. Like, I'm going to New York. What's a good place to stay? Where can I go and eat? You know, stuff like that. And a few weeks later, he had texted me and I was like, I see his name come up on my phone and I'm like, oh, he's probably going to New York. Probably needs a recommendation or something. And and the message said, you know, I've been thinking about what you said when you texted me a few weeks ago about me making your day. You know, how can I make your day? You know? And I was like, oh, please, John, you know, you don't even know what's been going on with me. And he's like, you know, honey, I don't get involved with anybody's life, but if you ever need someone to talk to, because I have noticed that you've been MIA for a while, like, don't see you out. You haven't come to a few of my shows. And he's like, if you ever need somebody to talk to. And the thing with, you know, being in a bad relationship, if you're hiding it from your friends and family, let me tell you, maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't have a great poker face. They know. that you're not hiding anything. They know. And John is like, the only thing I was sure about was that I was moving to Florida. That was it. I was like, this is where I'm going to recoup and heal. And this is where my people are. They're here in Florida. I do have some anxiety, and like as anybody, I mean, it's change, you know. You're looking to pick yourself up and go move somewhere else, and you know, leave everything else behind. And I just was like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for what life it is looking to greet me with. And I just need to get out of this place, get out of Philly. It's too familiar. And that didn't happen. You know, I love the round, but I like this shoulder to shoulder, very tight together, you know, not seeing any of the background. I do enjoy that. I want to switch to the other colors so that we can see. In fact, I'm going to put this away, even though there's a lot more. But I'm going to switch to the other colors so that we can see. It's the arrows. Is there much of a difference? So I am switching over to number 939, and we just completed 823, which looks almost identical, or identical, we don't know yet. And I just did a row of the 823, which was the arrow, which was the equal sign. And now I want to do the line that is the arrow sign to see if we can see that much of a difference, or a difference at all. It would be really neat if it was just like a very subtle, like little shade. And I am getting a little overflow of wax that I use my putty for to get that out of the way. If you were looking at my pens while I was working, I was going to save this one for the Winter Fox, but I just couldn't. I just love holding both these pens. They're from Enablers Outpost. I was calling them a shorty. I've since learned that they're called a chubby. Or maybe they're not. I don't know. I'm going on what I hear from other more experienced diamond painters call them. I really, you know, this dark navy blue, I mean, dark navy blue is becoming such a favorite color of mine. And up against the 310 AB with this dark navy blue, I just love it. So we're doing the arrows going up. I have to keep reminding myself of what I'm doing, because I get confused and I like all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, what are you doing? That's not the right symbol. So what happened here? Where was I? Okay. So I want to say these are all, that's a different color in there. Okay. I wonder if maybe, oh gosh. Let's get you back in here. I wonder if maybe the cut, I guess the cut is never different, is it? I'm thinking of real diamonds. Girl's wacky. I should have left a couple of the 823 out, because there's one that has to go there. Oh, don't you hate that? It drives me nuts. That's why I can't wait to start my Elizabeth Ward kit. But I was looking yesterday, I was rearranging my closet, because I'm starting to build a stash. I don't know how this happened. I'm starting to build a stash. And I started to throw, you know, organize everything and throw boxes away. And I was looking at the Winter Fox again. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to start you. And I was even looking at that because there was a lot of color blocking in that one also. So for all the anxiety that I had about it being square drills, and I'm gonna get that excess off of there. For it being square drills and for the kit being too big for me, I can't wait to start it. Can't wait. But Drills and Chills is coming up, and if you're still with me, if I didn't depress you, I'm sorry, with my story, I have two to unpack for Drills and Chills. One I have questions on that I hopefully somebody can answer for me. This is an American-based company, and after I paid for it, I got notice that it would be like 17 to 28 days before I would receive the canvas. And I thought, oh wow, is it sold out? Did I buy something like on a wait list? And no, the answer was, once I went to the website, and I will post all that when I do the unboxing, was that the artist is making the canvas to order, and that it was being shipped off to China. And I thought, China? What the heck? What am I missing here? You know, the artwork is licensed, the artist is being paid, and I'm supposed to believe that, you know, they're being made one by one out in China. It just seems a little like I'm missing something, and you know, it's my own ignorance, I'm sure. And I looked on the website and I just thought, I don't know, this company opened up during the pandemic, and you know, saw that, you know, diamond painting was very much in demand, because what are we doing locked inside the doors? I didn't hear of diamond painting that way. I was busy falling in love. The company opened, and then like everything is being sent out to China to be, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if I've never really checked about where I'm getting my diamond paintings from. You know, I mean, I've gotten diamond paintings from Diamond Dots. I've gotten diamond paintings from Diamond Art Club. I don't know that they're being manufactured in the USA. I never really looked, but I will be. Nothing against China, but I didn't realize it was going to take me. I'm glad I ordered it early, because I really like the little design for Drills and Chills, and I wouldn't have wanted to wait, because I think I saw a video from Katie before I started filming about it's like I think she had done a kickoff video. I'm really trying to see. Now, what I like about my magnifying light is that it gives off different colors of light: sunlight, blue light, reading light, white light. And so I'm going to put this up against the light to see, and use different lights to see. Do you see a different value in the shading of the 823 dark blue and the 939 dark blue? Did I get those numbers right? 823, I see. 939, 823, 939. Is there a difference? Me working it right now, I don't see a difference. But like I said, I want to see under the microscope light. One thing about these square drills, I have to tell you, every time I go to shake them out of here and put them in this tray, I get them all over the place. Maybe you caught that, because before this edit, where I shook them all over. So there's 823. Are you in there? Now you are. And 939. What's going on here? There we go. There is space for you. So why you're giving me a hard time, I don't know. This is a different color. This is a different color. So on the outline is 823, and on the inside fill is 939. I'm going to finish this and then we're going to look. So curious. It's Friday. It is Friday. Even though my husband has to work on Saturday, he'll have Sunday, Monday off. So we're trying to decide what we going to do. What are we going to do? I'm in such a groove with my own schedule. From the time I wake up, I try and get everything done so that I'm not interrupted with my diamond painting or videoing or editing and other little shenanigans that I get into during the day. That when we have 2 days off, I'm kind of like, oh, this would be the time I'm diamond painting. Okay, so I am going to let you breeze on in. Let's move everything out of the way. I have this great desk. I have to show it to you guys. I think I'm going to do it during drills and chills because it's a gothic desk that one of my husband's friends didn't want any longer, and he was like, I know Elisa does all this stuff with, you know, furniture, and maybe she wants to, you know, revamp it. I don't want to do anything to it. I love it just the way that it is. And it's now in my office, in my office. It's in my living room, which is my office, but it has a nice little drawer that I can put all my stuff away, which is nice. Because I'm starting to really sprawl out. I'm always complaining my husband's sprawling out, and we're getting just like one another. So, how close can I get you? Okay, so it would be nice if I had like a little pointer or something. Here we go. Just on these outside lines is 823, and in the middle is 939. I really cannot tell much of a difference. I don't see any indication. I'm actually going to look underneath my magnifying glass to see, is the cut different? And you know what, y'all? No, I thought maybe, yes, maybe that was it, like maybe, but no. 823 and 939 are identical. Let me put this down. I'm going to get the little light changer here. There's a blue light. No change. And here is a yellow light, which would be like sunlight. Maybe I'm going to let this go up a little bit higher. And lower, and that's higher. And that's just bright white light. And I have to say that they are identical. I don't see a dullness. I don't see a different in the cut. You know, it might be just a slight little, I mean, I'm sure that different companies have maybe a different variation in a mold, maybe. And maybe that is throwing me a little bit. It seems like it is. That's the difference right there. Here we go. I found it. In the center of the 939 is a square, but in the center of the 823 is a diamond shape, but they are exactly the same color. That is the difference. Now, whether that throws off some kind of, let's turn this off. Whether that throws off some kind of difference in, it's been fun, right? If that throws off some kind of difference in the way the light hits it, maybe it does. I'm gonna stick to keeping 823 to 823 and 939 to 939. But if you look at the center of the drill, it's a prism, but the center prism is a square, and the other center prism is diamond shaped. Detective work. So I'm glad to be of help, to be of service. And it's Friday, guys. It's too hot to go out for me anyway, and I wanted to move to Florida. But enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. And like I always say, always, always, always create the world that you want to live in. Very important. I love you guys. Have a good time. Bye-bye.